Lydian is a very common scale choice for soloing over a major chord. We can create major sounds with the Lydian mode. This mode is made popular by guys such as Joe Satriani and Steve Vai. Later on in the DVD, we're going to be doing some licks in the style of Steve Vai. It's also the main scale to play the Simpsons theme, if you know that song. Okay, so we're going to start off by learning one pattern of the C Lydian mode, and then we'll try and do a short solo using this pattern. So here's C Lydian. It's very close to C major. The difference being we've raised up the fourth scale degree. So we can say Lydian is major with a raised 4. Another way to look at this is we can say that Lydian is the fourth mode of the major scale. Therefore, C is the fourth mode in the key of G major. All of these notes come also from G major. But let's take a closer look at the notes. I'm going to start off with C on the 3rd fret of the A string, followed by D on the 5th fret, E, F sharp, and G on the D string, frets 2, 4, and 5. Then I'll play A, B, and then back to the root note C on the G string. This will be frets 2, 4, and 5. So there's one octave of C Lydian. Now we can continue. We can play D and E on the B string, F sharp, G, and A on the high E string, frets 2, 3, and 5. So here's what we've done so far. And we can work our way back down. And we can continue to go lower than this C. We can play B on the 2nd fret. On the low E string, we can play A, G, and F sharp, frets 5, 3, and 2. And then back up, 3, 5. Now to the A string, 2, and 3. So that's how I would practice the scale. Start on the root note, play to the highest note available in the pattern, back down to the lowest note available, and then end on the root note. I think it's important to start and end on the root note so that your ear tells you what key we're in, because we want to center our ideas around C. So once again, here's C Lydian. Okay, now let's start off with a short solo using the C Lydian mode. I'll play along with the backing track and then we'll come back and break it down. So check out the first solo. So for this short solo, I'm really emphasizing the rhythm of the backing track, which is 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's got a triplet feel. 6/8 means we have 6 eighth notes in each measure. So I'm trying to play along with that rhythm. The first phrase goes like this. 3 on the high E string, followed by 5, 3, 2. 3 to 2 on the high E, followed by 5 on the B. 2 on the high E, 5, 3 on the B. 5, 3 on the B, followed by 5 on the G. 3 on the B, followed by 5 to 4 on the G. 5, 4, 2 on the G. And this phrase ends 4 on the G, 5 on the D. So here's what we've done so far. Now repeat. And here's the remainder of the solo. So I'm going to start by sliding from 2 to 4 on the G string, 3 to 5 on the B, slide 4 back to 2 on the G, slide 2 to 4 on the G, and finally land on the note G, 5th fret of the D string. So let's put the whole solo together from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a. Okay, so there's one example of how you can use this pattern to create a little solo using the C Lydian mode. If you'd like to, just take the backing track at this point and try and experiment, either learn that solo or try out your own solo using that scale pattern. For now, we're going to move on and we'll play C Lydian in the next position on the neck. This means the root note will be now played with the 4th finger on the 8th fret of the low E string. And here's the pattern. Now before we go through the notes in this pattern, I just want to remind you that C Lydian is the 4th mode in the key of G major. So we're playing the same notes that we have in G major, but we're just going to start and end on C. So we'll play C on the 8th fret of the low E string. On the A string, we'll play 5 to 7, that would be D to E. On the D string, F sharp, G, and A, frets 4, 5, and 7. On the G string, we'll play B to C, frets 4 to 5, and there's 1 octave. Now we can continue to the 7th fret of the G string, to the B string, 5, 7, 8, high E string, 5, 7, 8. So here's what we've done so far. And now let's go back down. And we can continue to go below this C note. We can play B to A, 7th fret to the 5th fret on the low E string, and then back up, 7, and then we end on C, 8th fret. Okay, so let's try the whole pattern now. So now I'm going to play a short solo using this pattern. So check it out with the backing track, and then we'll come back and break it down. As I mentioned earlier, the backing track has a triplet feel to it. So I'm going to start off with the first 3 notes, low E string, 8th fret, followed by 5 to 7 on the A string, and that'll be for the first beat. Next 3 notes, 4, 5, 7 on the D string, Now I'm going to hammer on and pull off 4, 5, 4 on the G, followed by 7 on the D. 4G, 7, 5, D. Now we're going to go back to the low E string, 8th fret, followed by 5 to 7 on the A string, 4 to 5 on the D string, 7 to 4 on the G. Here's what we've done so far. And now we're going to repeat that. Next section starts off 7 to 8 on the B string, followed by 5 on the high E, 8, 7, 5 on the B, and the last phrase. So I'll have a half step bend from the 7th fret of the B string, bend up, release, and then pull off to the 5th fret. Now I'll play 7 on the B, pull off to 5, 7 to 8, 5 on the high E, and then slide into the 8th fret of the B string to end. So here's the whole solo. 1, 2, 3, and up, 4.